right, how's it going, guys? First thing is first, shout out to the stream sponsors, guys. The perpetual exchange of choice is CoinCatch. That is where I do a lot of my trading. No VPN, no KYC is what I truly think crypto was built on, so that is why I like to use CoinCatch. So please, 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 guys, if you have any questions with CoinCatch, anything like that, please let me know and we'll get everything kind of squared away. Also, the secondary sponsor of the stream is Breakout Prop. It is a prop firm where if you don't want to put up your own capital, you can kind of buy an evaluation and then get your account funded so that you don't have to trade with your own capital. You can trade with somebody else's. And I'm gonna make a video kind of going over Breakout Prop, how you guys can use it if you want to use it, how to get started with evaluations and all that here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that, guys. But shout out to the stream sponsors of CoinCatch and Breakout Prop. So I'm just getting into the NPOC levels for BTC. We were kind of talking about all of these getting front run. You know, that was why they were all circled last time we talked about this. We talked about all of these levels down at 80K, 84K kind of being front run because, you know, support was holding. We had wicks, we had wicks, we had wicks. None of this should be new to you guys. You know, this is all something that we've gone over. But let's dive right into all our setups. I know that's the main thing. If you're sidelined, what do you look to do now? If you don't have the exposure that you want, you know, where do you look to bid? All that sort of stuff. And we're going to go over that here, guys. So let's kind of jump right into this. So this is kind of currently what we have, right? We have our NPOC setups on BTC. We have up, we have down. You guys know kind of what I'm looking to do. We kind of talked about the area to looking to long solely based on NPOC levels, which was lower. Again, I explained to this many times that I was long and I wasn't expecting this drop to kind of happen and I was looking for support to hold. But shorting maybe 106. We talked about that potential double top. We've talked about if BTC just ranges here, this would be, in my opinion, the best thing for the overall markets. If BTC slows, Ethereum can gain momentum, altcoins can gain momentum, and we can kind of have a party. But again, that's not really confirmed yet. That's wishful thinking. That's what I would want to happen, not necessarily what's going to happen. So our short game plan stays the same, right? There was no reason to kind of short down at this 93, 94K area. We wanted higher to short into. Again, you know, when you're shorting, you want to get a discount on your shorts, which means you want higher. So that's what we want. We don't want to be shorting after a 15% move to the downside, right? You want to be shorting when the move is green, when we're up, getting into a resistance level, not at a support level. So if you can identify where support and resistance are, then you can figure out where to long and where to short, right? That's the name of the game. Basic support and resistance trading. Keep it simple, stupid. So really the long kind of stays the same, you know, based off NPOC prints. I still think that this 93 would be a better place to kind of long into if you're wanting to long or you're trying to get positioned. So that's kind of what we're going to stick with. So this is our next long. If you don't have any exposure right now is where I think you should be longing next, right? Is that 93.527. And again, who knows? We may drop from here and everybody's wanting to chase long today, but the reality is we're going to retest this 93.527 and that's where you can get long. Getting into Ethereum now. Talked about these levels getting front run too, right? We made our game plans, our longs, our shorts, and really these both stay the same. So I'm not going to remake these, right? If you have no exposure and you were unwilling to kind of long in this area, again, I just think it's so basic, right? Once resistance, then turn to support, then continued support for a move higher. It's just easy TA, guys. It's nothing complicated. There's no bullshit, no confirmation. It's just looking at a naked chart, realizing where people were first selling, realizing that we flipped that level into a support and now people are buying it. Retest of that means that we get a bounce for higher. So again, it could be easier said off of hindsight if I wasn't trading this or whatever, but just know I put my money where my fucking mouth is. I trade my setups and I make profit on my setups just like I lose money on my setups as well. I'm not one of those fucking guys that just makes these setups and doesn't trade them, right? Because there's thousands of people out there that do that. I put my money where my fucking mouth is, where my setups are, and I trade them. There's not much to kind of go over. There's no new NPOC prints within price action. We'll see where the print is today at market close. But sometimes if you get a print like down in this area at like 3586, you can actually kind of capitalize from a retest of that area instead of having to wait all the way for that lower print of 2969 that likely doesn't come. You can kind of find smaller short-term time frame entries within that. As of right now, we don't have any, but don't worry. If one prints, I'll tell you guys over in the Telegram and give you that setup as well. But that's really it on Ethereum. But as far as NPOC levels go on longs and short, they do stay the same. You know, I'm not going to harp on this chart. Short entry is going to be 4,015. You know, next long entry is 2,969, right? You know, I like to add some confluence within this, but this is what we're watching. I still think higher on ETH. Again, this is going to be a take profit, and this is going to be a take profit as well, as long as local highs of that 4,100 area as well. I'll be kind of taking profit and shaving off into it. not longing into there, right? That's what we want to get away from our trading strategy. We don't want to be waiting for confirmation on a breakout when you can be longing lower and maximize ROI based off of your entry. Where is Sol at right now? Where is it rejecting? Where is it slowing? Slowing and rejecting at median ML, right? So it's not a surprise. We've calculated this out. We've talked about this where I think, we can kind of chop within this area, maybe see a little bit of downside, maybe retest some of these local lows about that 212, and then we get that move to the upside once BTC slows and everything else can kind of settle down a little bit. So no surprise that we're seeing a little bit of downside into median ML. I think that it actually chops here for a little bit, faking people out, and then we move higher from here. I think I said I liked it last time, but I'm not like the biggest fan of CRV. It's just been kind of a letdown. But again, still a great chart as far as finding that low deviation outside. Now it's kind of tapping in and resisting that first target of about 128. I still think you could see about 157. Now, when does that happen? I don't know. Again, I'm in no rush here, guys. I don't think that everything's going to happen right away. I think that CRV, decent trend line that has going, maybe it bounces here and we retest something like that. But I do think CRV is one that will gain momentum because a lot of people like it. Still a decent move. CRV is going to go up if Ethereum goes up and everything else goes up. Decent range. Yeah, we talked about this. Upper limit, lower limit. This is still the range that we created back in June of 2024. Still lower limit, good retest. Again, anywhere that you could buy in between that 14 and 19 is great. You know what I'm saying? I think INJ is one of those ones, again, that's got a lot of bag holders. You got a lot of people that are in this community. The tech is good. Everybody loves them. They got a lot of VCs backing them, but they just aren't performing the way that people want. Just based off slow and naked technicals, yeah, I think that, it could see back to this 30 area on INJ, depending on your patience. Maybe we drop from here and we get a retest of this median ML at about that 24 before we get that move higher. But this is how I would play it, right? I wouldn't long into this. Why? Look at the price off the lows of lower limit. It's up 43%. I don't like to be chasing into 43% moves to the upside. I like to be buying on 43% moves to the downside, right? So for me, if you get that retest of about this median ML, which again has had some important levels, resisted, now it's supporting, now it's supporting, now it's supporting, broke down below, breakout above that area. Now we retest that area once again of about 24. That's where I would look to be longing INJ, would be about $24 before it gets that move up to 30. For me, Pepe is not where I want to be longing. Again, we can kind of go over this. This is not really where I want to long. I would like Pepe to come back to lower limit, and then that's where I would look to long before we get a move higher. Again, I don't look to long at median ML. I look to long at lower limit, and I don't look to short anywhere other than upper limit or new highs, right? Because that's just my trading style. This is actually a decent buy because it's at its lows now, right? If you're bag holding from higher, you're kind of holding and hoping at this point. But for me, if you have no position in TIA, I think here is actually a good place to be bidding. Anywhere between, this range low of about 4 and this range high of about 6 is a decent area to be bidding TIA. I don't think I would buy this here. Now, I do think that this is kind of priming up to be a decent move. This area was once resistance, again resistance, and then it's kind of broken above. And again, this is the 1 day, right? So it's the higher tier time frame, so take it with a grain of salt. Then we rejected, and then where did we bounce again? We came back down, bounced at previous resistance levels, then held at previous, had that deviation below previous, and then got acceptance above. Anywhere between that seems like $1 and $1.50 range, $1.40 range, I think is pretty good buy. I don't think I'd buy here, but if there was any sort of rejection back into this blue zone, I think that you could potentially look to long in that area. Look for a target of 250, look for another target of 320, and then maybe another one of like that 410 area. So not a terrible setup here. I don't think I'd long it, but I do think that it can gain some momentum. Haven't seen a lot of people talking about Phoenix, don't know fundamentals behind it, don't know if there is a coordinated push or whatever, but that's just me off pure technicals. So last one I'm going to go over is ARB. We're getting a pretty good move off of this area now. For me, I'm not going to chase it here, but I do think that it can gain some momentum. I've been kind of surprised on how shitty ARB has performed, and there was so much hype behind it. But, for me, it's just one of those things that's like, well, can get a pretty good discount if this does gain any sort of momentum, from here, 70 cents all the way up to $1.57, that's 100% move. It's 2x, then all the way up to recent highs of 240, 3x, depending on how you're trading it. I don't know. But yeah, I did say last stream that I liked it here. And since we talked about it last stream, it is up about 28%. So yeah, I didn't buy any, wish I did, but you know, I'm in other plays and I'm not worried about catching everything. I still think ARB looks pretty good for higher. But that is all we have time for today, guys. I really appreciate every single one of you. We will be in the Telegram after this, posting more charts, taking profits. Today is a great day, and I'll see you over in the Telegram, guys. Peace.